Welcome back to Savvy Seniors. Today on the show we have Barb Daize with us, and Barb runs a store in Burlington called Body Med Boutique. She does a lot more than just run this store, but this is an amazing store. So I had two questions to start off with. One was, what is Body Med and why did you start it? And I think that's just one question. So Tell us what it is and why you started it.
Well, firstly, thank you for having me, Mary.
Oh, you're welcome.
I started Body Med because there was a need. I felt there was a big need, a big sort of missing niche in town. My best friend died of breast cancer at 48 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And then my mother was diagnosed several years later with breast cancer. And what I did notice was there was sort of a lack of support and information for people, but there was also a lack of nice things to wear. You know, bras that were kind of not that pretty and just things you couldn't find.
Yeah.
And so I decided something needed to be done about it, and I had never worked in retail before, and I didn't really know what to do, and my husband and I were sitting at Mount Royal Restaurant in the Mount Royal Plaza, came out of there after breakfast, and there happened to be a store for lease, and he said, why don't you just open your own and do it? Get these women the help they need. And so 3 weeks later I signed a lease and started the process of trying to figure out the big world of retail and how to order things and find suppliers and all that sort of stuff.
That's what I was going to say, because you know, sometimes like if you open a store, I would know that, you know, knickknacks and you know, pretty clothes and stuff would sell, but how would you, just out of the blue, how would you figure out how to do all that? Because I think you sell compression items, and I don't know anything about that.
Right.
How did you research that?
Well, I did a lot of research myself online, but I also had worked for a breast cancer agency, so I did have a bit of a familiarity with breast cancer and different things like that. I also knew some of the companies that supply those goods and had worked with them prior to, so I definitely had a lot of information prior to that. I just didn't sort of know how to put it all together, and I have a nursing background. I'm a registered practical nurse.
Okay, now we're getting the whole story.
So
here we go.
With the medical knowledge that I had, and I'd worked for a lot of doctors in town, so cumulatively all the stuff that I kind of knew, I thought I can do this, but I was still very nervous because it was still new to me, opening this place and paying a rent and employees and all the rest of it. One of the employees that I started with had worked in inventory and manufacturing before, so she was a great help in helping me get started too. So that's sort of how the whole thing began, and as it began, it very quickly evolved into supplying more products, and the need got greater.
Okay, and you've been there since 2011.
I have, yes.
I remember when you opened it, I was so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I know what you mean about the resources not being there. My mom had breast cancer. Her sister had breast cancer. My grandma had breast cancer.
Wow, yeah.
Of course, you got to know that I'm concerned about that. I go for all the regular testing and everything.
Absolutely.
But I remember my mom wouldn't go to the beach with me because she couldn't get a bathing suit that would fit her properly.
And this is a very common problem or concern with people that have gone through this, because you know, they have incisions, they sometimes don't have one breast or both breasts. If they bend over and they're wearing a shirt that's a bit low, there's things people can see, and they're very self-conscious, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, and I think that lately it's getting better. Women are going, you know what? This happened to me and I'm going to deal with it, and so are you. And so it is better, but there still is a little bit of that self-image and wanting to be back to your old self again.
Oh,
so,
of course.
You know, it's something that I feel is really important for people, because in the sense, if you feel better, then you'll look better. You look better, you feel better. So I think it does help.
When I was younger, I always used to say, it's always better to look better than feel better, but now it's changed. Now it's better to feel better than look better, for sure.
Right, and we kind of want both, but I think it's just important for women who have been through this traumatic experience, because this isn't just a surgery. This is probably a year to 2 years, depending on what your treatment is, of going through treatments, not feeling great, you know, being at home, maybe being off work and not being able to work for a while, and then the fatigue and other things that come along with the side effects of all the drugs as well.
Yeah.
So it's a long haul.
Yeah, God bless you for that. So I understand you have a project that you're quite proud of.
I am very proud of it, yes.
Tell us about that.
So in probably a year after I started the store, we found women were coming in, and they were coming in before surgery to find what they needed. And what they needed was something to hold the drains. A lot of women have drains when they're having surgery. So, and otherwise you just pin them to your clothes and you just let them sort of hang there. And usually only have them in for a couple of weeks, but it was something that I felt was important for them to have something that would make them feel a little better with these drains.
Yeah.
So one of my suppliers had a Camisole that has drain pouches that you can wear. And so I contacted them and I said, how much are they? You know, I'd like to buy some, but they were quite expensive, like $60-something for someone to purchase to wear for a couple of weeks. So a bunch of my friends got together and decided we were doing a fundraiser at my store, and we raised $800 one night just selling jewelry. And I bought as many camisoles as I could and started just giving them away. And it has grown over the years to provide women with a cami with drain pouches, or a drain belt, and a bunch of other items. The whole project has just sort of blown up across Ontario, actually. And I have inquiries from women all over to get this free package. We give everything in the package away for free in the bag. And
you still give the camisoles away for free?
We definitely do. We've been doing it since we started 10.5 years ago.
Because you could sell them in your store.
I could sell them in my store, but I don't want to, because it's an expensive, breast cancer is an expensive disease anyway. The cost of all the products are very expensive for somebody, especially if you don't have insurance. So I just feel this little free gift that we give people before their surgery just will hopefully help them have some hope and have some kindness, and just a nice little gift for them before they go in for surgery.
That's great. What else is in the bag?
So in the bag there is the Camisole. There's a little heart pillow that goes under your arm when you're having lymph node surgery. There's a journal and a pen so that they can jot down some questions or write down some information. There's a pair of cozy socks that we get donated from Socks for Hope. There is a lip balm, there's some hand cream, there's baby wipes because you can't shower right away. There's
so much.
Toothpaste, toothbrush, everything that you need for going into the hospital for a day or two, however long you're staying, and then for a few weeks afterwards.
How can we help with that? Are you still doing fundraisers?
Yeah, we just did one actually, and we raised about $3,200 at the Navy Club in Burlington, which was amazing. And then people just started sending money. So we've had a lot of donations over the years. Many people in the community have donated. There's been restaurants, there's been individuals, businesses that give us money, and we buy most of the products to put in the bag, but now we're starting to get a lot of donations. We recently got one from a company in Burlington of lovely hand creams and what do you call it? Sorry, lip balms. And
great.
So yeah, so it's been really great. We've been around for a long time, so I think a lot of people are realizing this is an important thing.
Yeah, I would love to support that. So next time you have a party, invite me. Always invite me to a party anyway.
Yeah, I love
but
a party.
For one of these, I would love to come.
For sure.
Thanks so much,
Definitely.
Barb.
I appreciate you inviting me. Thanks
for joining us today. We'll see you next time on Savvy Seniors.